Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. We're going to invite you to move around on this opening song if you so choose, and stand as you are willing and able. And we're going to sing about the healing that's happening right now. There's a healing going on right here, right now. A healing going on right now. You think it's just begun, but it's already done. There's a healing going on right now. There's a healing going on right here, right now. A healing going on right now. You think it's just begun, but it's already done. There's a healing going on right now. When you walked right into your human skin, you were right, you were perfect, you were whole. So it's no surprise to anybody's eyes. You're a perfectly beautiful soul. You can sing this with me now. There's a healing going on right here, right now. A healing going on right now. You think it's just begun, but it's already done. There's a healing going on. proclaim who you really are, and you don't have to look too far, 'cause the universe knows your name. There's a healing going on right here, right now. A healing going on right now. You think it's just begun, but it's already done. There's a healing going on right now. And all the radiant beams of your perfect dreams, you were always ready to receive the truth that fills your heart, all right from the start. All you had to do is believe, 'cause there's a healing going on right here, right now. A healing going on right now. You think it's just begun, but it's already done. There's a healing going on right now. There's a healing going on right here, right now. A healing going on right now. You think it's just begun, but it's already done. There's a healing going on right now. You think it's just begun, but I'll tell you it's already done. Oh, there's a healing. Oh, there's a healing going on right now.
Right here, right now, at the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, there is a healing going on. Isn't it wonderful? Woo. Welcome, welcome. I'm Reverend Patricia VanWoerkom. I'm your Associate Minister, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome you this Sunday to our glorious time together, especially with these musicians. I mean, how could it not be anything? How could it be anything other than a glorious time?
Yes.
Yeah. No double negatives. Okay, housekeeping. I'm going to bring up Ruth, because we have a major housekeeping event going on.
Thank you. So you may have heard that we are, you may have heard that we are live on YouTube. It was a little challenging this morning. I had some issues trying to get the camera to work, but it's working. And hello, YouTube audience. We're excited about this. What we're doing is we're transitioning to YouTube Live rather than using Zoom and our live Sundays, because number one, the sound is so much better. We can actually hear what people are saying. We can hear the musicians. It's really nice. And so we're excited to do this. We want to let you know that it's easy to find us on YouTube. And for those of you who are at a distance and are kind of nervous about getting rid of Zoom, all you need to know is that there's a YouTube channel that you can use, or let's see if this works. You can go to our website at www.SCSL. This is a fantastic website. Go to that website to find all kinds of things out, but especially on Sunday mornings when we're here live, go to the website and then go to About Us and scroll down to where it says Social Media. Easy to find that. You click on Social Media and then it'll take you to this page where it says Facebook, YouTube, pictures on Instagram. Click on that subscribe to YouTube, and yes, we want you to subscribe. But on Sunday mornings you click there and then click that little button that says live. And it goes straight to what's happening live right here at the Citrus Heights Community Center. So we're excited about this. Next Sunday we're not going to use Zoom. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed that everything's going to work. We're not going to use Zoom. We're going to go live, strictly live. That's the next Sunday we're here in person. And actually, we're going to try it when we're on Zoom on those virtual Sundays. We're going to try going live through the Zoom system. So you still can log in on Zoom, or you can practice with the live on YouTube. So it should be fun. So if you have any problems, have any questions, give me a holler. I'll help you out. Thank you.
I know, huh? We have been working towards this for quite a while because we've been concerned that we're putting all this effort into getting the word out. And no one could hear us. Yeah, doesn't work really well. So, this is November. It's a whole new month for us, which means a whole new month's theme and new books of the month. Our annual theme of Living Everyday Wonder stays. So the book Ordinary Wonder is a book that we're going to be using all year and will continue to. But the special book for this month is called What Happened to You? Which sounds kind of an odd question, but it really changes the question from what's wrong with you or what's wrong with me to looking at what happened to me, what happened to you. Okay? It's written by a psychiatrist and a researcher, and it's focused on his research on neurological responses to trauma in children. And that's kind of the new big thing in psychology in the last 25 years, so it's really become mainstream at this point, is to realize that we as children have very flexible and alive and growing neurological systems, and they respond to what happens to us. So this book is in conversation with Oprah Winfrey, who brought him into all the work that she's been doing about child welfare and child abuse over the last 20 years. And it is a wonderful blend of stories and applied theory, about how we can move away from our reaction to what happened to us and moving into response to what's happening now. So it's a lovely, lovely book, and it's not hard science. It's that conversational tone that most of us know from anything that Oprah has had her fingers in. So heartily recommend it. And all the some of the research in that book will also be kind of woven into the talks this month. Next slide. Ooh, good, I get to sit down. I want to introduce our practitioner of the day, Margie Lukefeld. And Margie is one of those sweet souls that you may miss when you first walk in the room. When you sit next to her, or come up and say hi, or she'll come up and say hi to you, you'll feel the warmth of her heart and the clarity of her acceptance of truth. How about that? So Margie, why don't you come up and give us our invocation.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Sacramento SCSL. We are riveting there, I'm telling you. So if you'll just relax and go within to your center where it's very safe, we'll bring up to the invocation. Taking that deep breath and letting the morning go, the rush of the weekend, the fun of the weekend, and enjoying the rain and gratitude of being here. As I know that this presence is here, this divine omnipresence is right here, right now. And it's unconditional love, and the power of harmony and love and peace and all that is God and all that is good, but balance. And as I know this, I absolutely know and affirm that I am one with this presence. And as I affirm for me, I affirm this presence is with each and every one of you in the audience today, on YouTube, on Zoom, and wherever you may be. And so, blessing the service today and gratitude for our YouTube and our Zoom and our technology with Ruth Paul that keeps us going. and our music today with our family Bev and Greg doing our music, and just everything that's together. So grateful, and especially for the message that Reverend Patricia gives us today. We'll take it home with us. And so in gratitude, I just say thank you, God, and so it is. Okay. So with that, we have my readings today. I'll just do it from here. Okay, by Eric Butterworth. Before you formulate a desire in mind, it is God in your desiring. Before you have an urge, there is a moving of spirit in you, prompting you in that direction. And then by Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, like visioning, pain pushes until vision pulls. And then from Joseph Campbell, we must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. All good. Thank you. And now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Bev and Greg. It's called Tenderly Calling, and their song. Thank you.
Sometimes when I'm feeling lonesome, no one on earth seems to care. All by myself in the darkness, with no one and nothing to share. Just when it feels like it's hopeless, and I'll never make it alone, I hear the voices of angels tenderly calling me home. Home, come on home. You are weary, come home. Softly and tenderly calling. Home, come on home. Now I try to hold it together and never let on that I'm scared. And still sometimes I fall to pieces, scattered and lost everywhere. And just when it feels like there's no one to mend all my broken down dreams, I hear a voice deep inside me, tenderly calling to me. Home, come on home. Here you are, weary, come home. Softly and tenderly calling. Home, come on home. So don't be afraid of the darkness, and don't run away from the storm. Stand up and face your reflection, the feelings you tried to ignore. 'Cause after the tempest is over, and you've let yourself come on through, you'll hear a voice in the silence, tenderly calling to you. Home, come on home. He who are weary, come home. Softly and tenderly calling. Home, come on home. Home, come on home. We who are weary, come home. Softly and tenderly calling. Home, come on home. Softly and tenderly calling. Home, come on home. Thank you.
Well, welcome and good morning again. One of the things that was touched on in that gorgeous song is going to be a theme throughout this month, which is essentially Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, which is how we kind of get kicked out of home, and then we go through trials and tribulations, as I will describe later, and then we find that home is where we were, but it's this going from home and being called back home. I listen to Pandora Radio a lot because it provides me with a wonderful experience of music I've never heard before. New and different. But it knows I'm going to like the songs because it has that wonderful algorithm. So I was listening recently and there was an instrumental piece called Places You Don't Remember, Places You Can't Forget. And I thought that was really relevant to today's topic because home is a profoundly idealized and primal archetype that we all carry with us regardless of what our actual home experience was. Home is where we physically start our spiritual journey, and finding our home is the goal of the spiritual journey. Yet we can never really remember our home because we were children and we only saw one child's eye view of what was going on in the world. Yet whether we were raised on Leave It to Beaver or The Brady Bunch or The Simpsons, there's an image that we form inside us of what home should be. And it's really hard to let go of. So I don't remember really my home. I have this child's version of it. And I can't forget what I think it should be, what home should be. Ernest Holmes, our founding writer, said, quote, "Everyone is an incarnation of God and a unique incarnation. All are rooted in the one life. Your endeavor, then, is not so much to find God as it is to realize God's presence and to understand that this presence is always with you. Nothing can be nearer to you than that which is the very essence of your being. Your outward search culminates in the greatest of all possible discoveries, finding God at the center of your own being. Life flows up from within you." End quote. The recognition of God's presence within is the realization that unconditional love, wholeness, and oneness is our spiritual home, and we can access it anywhere and anytime once we discover that it is within us. It's within all life, and we will spend much of our life seeking this inner home. And if you have disappointment that you are whatever age you are and you haven't found it yet, please understand this journey was designed to take up most of your life. Okay? So the good news is you've got a lot of life ahead of you. Okay? And we won't worry about what happens when you get to the end of the journey. That's not today's talk. Joseph Campbell wrote about this seeking as the hero's journey, which describes the outward search to find the truth and the presence that lies at the center of our being. And this search seems to be universal. It's the subject of fairy tales, morality and teaching tales, novels, movies. It's cross-cultural. And the journey is always the story of psychological and spiritual transformation from an innocent child to a mature, self-actualized adult. It's also called the fool's journey in a lot of places because it begins as the youngest daughter or the youngest son or the most innocent and naive person in the story, as if it's trying to tell us that anyone and everyone has the capacity to take this journey and succeed. And the journey, whether we consciously choose to begin or whether it happens accidentally, it's always a challenging evolutionary process that serves to shape, strengthen, and prepare us for our life's work. And I think that perspective may be one of its greatest gifts. It grants us a new way of seeing events in our life as training and preparation for our life's work, not as tragedy or disaster that we somehow survived or things that went wrong and were mistakes. Campbell sees the hero's journey as having three phases: departure, initiation, and return. And I'm going to use one of our most familiar movies as an example of these three phases because it truly is the perfect hero's journey. Anyone want to guess what the movie is?
Star Wars.
Close. Very close.
We used it to do Star Wars.
But this goes back earlier to a book that was published in 1900. The Wizard of Oz. Dorothy's departure is both intentional and accidental. She runs away from home only to be swept up by a tornado. During the initiation phase, Dorothy endures trials and tests and tribulations. I just love that word. It sounds biblical, doesn't it? Trials and tribulations. She finds the help of mentors and guides and allies as she develops strength and confidence during her journey. Finally, there is a showdown where Dorothy meets and overcomes her greatest fear, which is that she's powerless and a victim of circumstances. And she slays the proverbial dragon, or the wizard in this case, and gains the insight that transforms her into a hero and gives her the power to go home. Now, the return is also important because neither she nor home are the same. Everything gets transformed. It's a wonderful story, and it's clear to me why it's been popular since the 1900s. The same three phases of the hero's journey can be seen in Samwise Gamgee's experience in The Lord of the Rings. The Sam that returns home is not the Sam that left the Shire. He is stronger and wiser and more sure of who he is and what he wants from life. He's also now ready to build that life with his beloved Rosie. Think also of Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, or Neo from Matrix. All of these are heroes' journeys. Now, our journeys, I will speak for myself, my journey has not been as dramatic as those. But they can and often do feel like life and death to our ego and the identities that we've built up about ourselves, the stories that we have told ourselves about who we are, that we have to let go of. And we have to let go of them to change and grow. Now, Gene Houston defines myth as something that never happened and yet is always true. And that's how I view The Wizard of Oz. It's a piece of fantasy fiction, yet it holds timeless truths in its telling of Dorothy's journey from innocence through meeting challenges and gaining a deeper understanding of the qualities of wisdom, love, courage, and then moving on to step into and claim her power. For me, this also describes the function of adolescence. Even if we were born into a perfect family with great social and economic conditions, a veritable Garden of Eden, at some time we have to break out of those sheltering walls. We have to move from being a passive receiver or victim if our garden was not a lot like Eden, and break free of narrow customs and rigid rules and limiting beliefs and set out to explore the unknown where we can learn and grow and evolve into why we came here, what we came here to be. One of the writers I claim as a teacher is Robert Johnson, who is a Jungian analyst and an author. And his version of the three phases of growth, or the spiritual cycle, is that we are born in unconscious perfection. Think of newborns in the Garden of Eden. We are the center of the universe. It all comes to us. We then move into conscious imperfection. Think of the worst part of adolescence and young adult, where we are sure that everyone else knows what they are doing, and all that we can do is seen as wrong or a failure. Or even worse, that we are wrong and that we are a failure. This is when the reframing the events in our life as a hero's journey can be the most helpful. They even have workbooks out where you can work through your life as the hero's journey. If you're interested in that, talk to me. I've got a resource. The final stage, as we go from unconscious perfection to flipping that into conscious imperfection, is to move into conscious perfection. And that is the goal, to establish in ourselves that sense of perfection and to know that's who I am. And that's what we teach. That's what makes Science of Mind so powerful. Science of Mind begins by knowing that we are each an original blessing to the world, that we are whole, perfect, and complete. Science of Mind also acknowledges that this consciousness, this awareness of ourselves as whole, perfect, and complete, is developed by knowledge and spiritual practice. It unfolds in our lives. We grow into this awareness. There's no magic wand that says, now you are spiritually enlightened. Just like when we go on our hero's journey, there's no point where someone comes in and magically saves us. It's our journey. It's the journey itself that brings the rewards. This growth is a journey of choice, though the beginnings can seem accidental enough. In my case, I got divorced while living in a place where I had no family and few friends. I chose to not tuck my tail between my legs and go home, which was Kansas, and the friend has reminded me, I'm not in Kansas anymore. I wasn't then either. But I chose to stay and make it work. I found a job at the Monterey Church of Religious Science, and the rest, as they say, is history. That accident of choice began the initiation phase of my hero's journey. It's when I discovered the possibility of conscious perfection. I had no idea that was possible, or that I might be able to at least get close to that. Okay? And I discovered that I could become the original blessing that I was born to be. Catholic raised in original sin. That concept was mind-blowing. Okay? For those of us closer to the end of our journey, rather than at the beginning, it's good to have words and concepts to help us understand and appreciate our journey and see what is left to do. For those closer to the beginning or smack in the middle, this metaphor, this perspective can help us make sense of things and provide hope. And this is how life works. We must all leave our original garden of unconscious perfection, whether or not it was an Eden experience, in order to journey home, to be conscious of the spiritual truths of ourselves and our world. Our home is the realization that we are all one, correlated before time and space, and entangled as divine energies, living amazing, unique human lives. Now, part of the initiation phase is when we gather to us guides and mentors and allies, much like Dorothy found the scarecrow to learn about love. And no, the scarecrow was to learn about wisdom. Okay, the brain. Okay, and then the Tin Man to learn about heart and love, and the lion to learn about courage and confidence and stepping into your power. Okay. We have an opportunity as a community to step into that role of allies and guides. Each of us has that opportunity individually. I mean, there's so many organizations out there would love to have volunteers. Habitat for Humanity, you name it. But we have a social outreach committee. And one of the groups that they have decided to connect with is the LGBT Community Center. And we are inviting them to our Friendsgiving celebration in 2 weeks. And I'd like to have Kara Ortiz-Seher come up and talk about how we're going to do that. No. Yes, you do.
I am known for having a very projective voice when I'm having to speak in front of people. So, good morning, everyone. I have to just say that this is my home, my spiritual home. I've been here coming to this center, and I want to thank everyone, Reverend Sharon, who's out in her boat, probably crab fishing or something, and Reverend Patricia and Reverend Debbie. It's been a wonderful privilege and a journey for me, which is very exciting and healing. So I'm thrilled to be up here in front of you talking to you all about the committee that I am so thrilled to be a part of as a former administrator and special ed and teacher. Just my calling has been of service and wanting to help those marginalized and those that need that extra help, that guidance. So as a member of our outreach committee, I kind of took the lead and I said, okay, let me reach out to this center. So I've been speaking behind the scenes to Mr. Lance Nalligan, who is the annual giving and corporate director of donations for the center. And we will be receiving a tour in the next couple of weeks just to add on to what we're so excited to do for the youth there. So we would love to have them be invited, our youth, at the center through an invitation that we personalize through your membership. So we have 12 lovely postcard invitations, and so we have our address, our picture. It says Friendsgiving celebration, as you all have been aware, that we are going to be inviting them to the 20th. Service begins at 10:30. We would love them to be coming to our service and participate for our Friendsgiving celebration afterwards, as well as I know we have the auction, but that's a choice that they can have as well. So our address and lunch to follow at about noon. So on the back of this is some lovely, just our mission, vision, and purpose. And I wanted to highlight a couple things. Our mission: we inspire and nurture personal and global transformation through the teachings of science of mind. We are welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. And finally, our purpose: in joy and love, we connect in service to all life. I think that's really a wonderful message that we can send to our youth over there. And then also just reasons why you may love to come to SCSL. And you can read those at your leisure in the back. So we would all love if you just had a few minutes of your time at the end of the service, or I can pass them out during, and just maybe say, hey, dear youth, you don't know who will be coming, but just generically, we would love to have you attend our Friendsgiving celebration. Please look for me, and then sign your name, whatever else you'd like to put on there. Pardon me. So I will be distributing these to the center myself. We will not be mailing them. So if you can finish that today, I will distribute them in person. And then what they do is they have a board that they will post them up. So our invitations will be displayed on the welcome board or wherever they come in to their center. And so then Lance will give me names of who's coming and the number by the 20th. So we'll know who we can cook for. What else? There was just one other thing. Oh, also, this was just a highlight of connecting with him. He offered to kind of give us a little highlight from the center based on what we're participating in through their blog, through the center. So at some point I'll find out what little essential pieces that they are offering to highlight us as a center that's helping and participating in activities there. So that's more to come, I think. He was very excited about this opportunity. So if you have any questions, please see me, and I'll have these at the back after service. Thank you.
So all we're really expecting is that you write a postcard, write an invitation, and then be alert for when someone comes in, and introduce yourself and have them join you at the table and just eat with them. These are, the youth in this case actually are older teenagers and up to age 25. So it's not just teenagers, it's also young adults. And I can't think of a community that is more outcast from the garden that they were born into than LGBTQ youth. So it is an opportunity for us to move into that phase of being a mentor and an ally. And it doesn't have to happen over a long period of time. It can happen over lunch. To be seen, to be heard, we all know how important that is. And it just has to happen once to know that you've been seen and heard, to know that it's possible. So please see Carol afterwards. And to be perfectly honest, we created the postcard and the invitation, and as Sharon would say, we are quite smitten with ourselves at how well it came out. Before I leave the podium, before I end the talk, what I have said is we're all on a hero's journey. And what I'd love to know from you all, and we've got a mic to pass around. Corey, do you need my mic runner? Oh, sure. Okay. Is, where are you in your journey? Are you still in your safety zone, waiting to be pushed or enticed out of the garden? Have you slain your dragon? Have you conquered your greatest fear? What would you like to share about that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I think what strikes me is that I don't think it's one and done. That the hero's journey, I love how you presented it. You know, okay, maybe I've slain this dragon, or maybe I've had this realization. I've had these moments of, surely we all have moments of oneness, and those moments of oneness may be in our connection through treatment, or they may be in, I have a dear friend who's here who one time we were singing together and looking into each other's eyes, and the song was that we are, I can't remember the words because now I'm speaking, but you are one with me. There's only one of us. And so we have these moments, and also these moments of separation. So I do think it's lifelong, just like you said, Reverend Patricia, and where I am can vary by the moment. And where I am can vary when I make a conscious choice to go step into gratitude, or step into treatment, or step into some spiritual practice that connects me.
Yeah. Multiple trials and tribulations, as they say.
There it goes.
I will just say that, as Reverend Patricia said, as Reverend Debbie, it is an ongoing journey, and we have, and for my journey, is looking at what I have co-created and what is mine to heal and what is mine to transform into a new life, a new chapter, new forgiveness, gratitude of old beliefs, old trauma, old things that carry us really drudgingly through life sometimes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to let that go. And it's a magical thing when you let go of the stuff, and you can see very clear. What is out there is much more magical than what you've been carrying around.
I tend to live in my head a lot, so I shared a few of the allies that I have found along the way and guides, Robert Johnson and all kinds of movies and literature. Who have you found, or what have you found that has been an ally or a help along your life journey? Margie?
besides the Center for Spiritual Living here,
Mm-hmm.
the books that are recommended, and the classes, that's where I got the depth of this philosophy.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful I learned to quit whining and be more grateful. Thank you.
Some of you who were at my birthday party met my friend Dee. We've been friends for almost 40 years now. And he's someone, we shared a house. There were 4 of us in the house. And I'd come home angry and all worked up about the injustices of the world and how they were treating me. And every time he just smiled and loved me and cooked for me. He's been one of the most wonderful allies on my journey. And it's not because we have great spiritual conversations. We laugh a lot. We talk about nothing. And he cooks. And he just loves me. Okay? So who in your life just loves you? Has just been there for you?
That's okay.
No, you
I'm
can
gonna
be on
go
the
back
mic.
to the first question, the previous. You were talking about books or movies or whatever. 2 books, maybe in the late 70s, early 80s, 2 books that I always think helped transform me. The Road Less Traveled and The Care of the Soul. You want me back up there?
Oh, Scott Peck.
Yeah.
Road Less Traveled.
And Thomas More.
Thomas More. Yeah. Anybody else? You keep nodding.
Oh, I'm nodding and agreeing. It's my first time here.
Oh, okay, then we will
Well, I
call
don't mind
on you.
speaking. When I lived in Florida,
Come, you
I
got a
was
microphone?
very active in a Science Online church, and also in Eugene, it was Unity.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved here right before COVID. So that was an interesting time. I'll cry when I share this. But
We have tissues.
it's okay. It's funny. I just went to Ojai for an intensive where I've been studying energy healing and meditation with this particular teacher since 2003. And when I lived in Florida, it's when I started opening my eyes to all this, to this wonderful awareness that we have. Where I was born, I'm sure you hear the Southern accent, a very religious family, a grandfather who was a pastor, and very the old style in the pulpit, and he ruled from the pulpit. And things came up with my family, it was intensive, and we really had to do a lot of clearing and releasing. And I imagine I'm sharing my story only because I feel like each of you have had your own version of it. And my family, the irony is my dad's a therapist. His PhD is marriage and family. My mother's school teacher. And yet they were so uncomfortable with me stepping beyond what they thought was the right way of doing it. And even now, there's not acceptance of it. And when I chose to move to the West Coast, the only place I could have moved further was to go to Alaska or Hawaii, truly. I was like, this isn't a phase I'm going through. This sense of that we're all connected and the new thoughts that that's based on all of wisdom. So I just want to share that. I'm thankful to be around like minds. And I want to acknowledge the courage that each one of you have taken, because you've had to step beyond what maybe your family approved of or what you grew up in. Just give yourself that applause, because you're in the right place right now. So thank you. Thank you for letting me speak.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, good.
So, a really wonderful friend came to my house one time and
looked at my CD collection and said, Beth, there's really more music out there besides Amy Grant. And then every once in a while he would say, you know, I hear you say that, but here's another way to think about it. So I married him.
Yes, Deb.
I just have, I don't even need a mic.
You have to because you can't get on the recording.
I just have a special request, and that is that Reverend Patricia, you said this incredible thing about our connectivity and this image and this visual image in your talk, and I'm just hoping that as part of your closing remarks, please say it again, because I was so touched by it. She's looking.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was, I mean, for me, it was just like, okay.
It's
you
the
can
quantum
do that
physics.
again.
It's the quantum physics.
Probably. I'm a big picture thinker, so thank you.
Oh, there it is. Well, that's a perfect segue. Because now it's time to say thank you for being here, and let's close this portion of the service with a healing prayer. So join me if you wish. In this moment, everything is in the right place at the right time. It is all perfect. And it is perfect because the one life that is God's life is perfect life and is my life right now. And this one life that is Spirit's life, which is perfect, is your life right now because it is the only life that there is. And what I know is that I'm always in my right place at the right time, and each of us is, because we were correlated before time and space even came into existence. And now we are entangled, quantumly entangled as divine energies having this glorious human experience. Connecting with the flow of love and wisdom and courage and compassion and peace that fills up and flows out of ourselves into the world. And I dedicate myself to opening to that flow, taking out, shaking out all of the kinks that could possibly bind that flow of goodness in my life. And I let it move into each cell in my body so that each cell remembers that it is whole, perfect, complete, and created out of a divine pattern of perfection that can never be changed. And I recognize the love within me is the same love within you. So that all relationships are lubricated in this flow of love. And I'm free to express myself clearly, cleanly, honestly, and kindly. For I know that I'm safe. God is everywhere present. It is a glory to behold. And I am fully open, aware, and becoming even more conscious of its activity in my life. And for this I give such great thanks. And I place this treatment into the law, knowing that it is already done. And so it is. And now we have Ben and Greg again. Yay!
angels and sing a song. Spreading our wings and fresh wings are back as we sail away. And wonder as we go, we're already home. Feels like an excellent journey before we begin. Perfect strangers befriend us and welcome us in. Opening up in a fresh breeze, the weight of the world is falling away. And wonder by wonder as we go, we're already home. Joy is a revelation, a brighter destination, and that's all that I need to know. The advantage from the start is that home is where the heart is. There's no place left not to grow. Great day in the morning, starting at dawn. Bring the blessings of angels and sing a song. Spreading our wings in a fresh dream, wings that are back as we sail away. And wonder as we go. And wonder as we go. We're already home.
Thank you, Bev and Greg. That was amazing. We are offering you the opportunity to give of this place called home, to give of your heart and your financial well-being to this center that is your spiritual home, where we welcome you. And as you can see, it's a sacred service, and when we give, we increase the flow of our own good. And it does get easier, as it says. There are 3 ways to give. We can give on the website, we can send a check, we can donate right here. And so those are all wonderful ways to go ahead and contribute. So go ahead and bring this around. Thank you. And join with me in saying the abundance affirmation and feel it. Abiding by the law of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever-expanding infinite good. And so it is. This is an amazing affirmation to just live with if you're doing abundance work. So if you ever need a copy, we can get it to you. We accept prayer requests. We love prayer requests, in fact. We more than accept them, we actually take them and pray on them for an entire week. So that is available to you on our website. Just click on, put in your prayer request, and it is sent out to the prayer team. And now for our latest news. You already heard a fair bit about our upcoming welcoming of the LGBT youth. And I believe that they are the unhomed. It's a center that caters to the unhomed in particular. So this fits with our particular giving mission. We meet in person like we are today on the first, third, and fifth Sundays. So we met last week because it was the fifth Sunday in person, and we're here this week because it's the first Sunday, and we're also, of course, on Zoom and now on YouTube as we're transitioning over to the YouTube live version. Again, any of us can work with you, especially Ruth can work with you if you need a little help figuring that out. And then, of course, we're still on both Zoom and YouTube on the second and fourth Sundays, on the even Sundays. And just to plug to our YouTube audience, thank you for giving generously, because it does take extra resources, and yet it is our gift to go ahead and do this technology that allows it to reach more people. So thank you again for your donations. We have on November 20th, so that's in 2 weeks, that's here in person. I think it's in 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
Help me out, okay. That's when we're inviting this center that has been discussed. It's also our Friendsgiving, when people are bringing food and we are sharing. Bring a dish to share that represents your family tradition, or just something that you really want to try. It might become your family tradition, or it might not. That's what Reverend Patricia's doing. And so I'm eager to eat all of your food. Oh wait, I'll bring something too. And also and you can see already on the back table there are a few donations. Please think of things that you may want to contribute to the auction, and let, I think, Reverend Sharon know. And also, come to the auction, see what you might want to get to support the Patrick Connolly Memorial, I'm going to say Audiovisual Fund, I'm not sure. But this supports our technology, again, as we improve our sound quality, as we reach out to more people on social media and right here in person. We've talked about this. Oh my goodness. Okay, now join with me. Feel that place within that knows this already. And say, I am the hero of my journey. We are going to have our closing song followed by our benediction.
We're going to ask you to sing that chorus, that lovely chorus, Home, Come On Home with us. And I just want to acknowledge our good friend Jan Garrett and our friend J.D. Martin. Yes, I wrote that song, Already Home. And the other answer to that question of who was your guide is I just always have to acknowledge Jan and J.D. as I won't speak for Greg, for my personal guides through the years. So thanks to our good friends. Sending that love to Colorado. Sing it with us. Home, come on home. Ye who are weary, come home. Softly and tenderly calling. Home, come on home. Sing it again. Home, come on home, you who are weary. Ye who are weary, come home. Softly and tenderly. Softly and tenderly calling. Home, come on home. Softly and tenderly calling. Home, come on home.
benediction, as we know that there is this one power, this one presence that is present in us as our home is the oneness with the infinite. And today we go about our work and our play and our love and our joy with this sense of home within us, as this sense of home, as this knowing that our home is established within always, that it is always present, that it is always the truth. We are connected with this. We go through all of it, anchored in the truth of who we are, in the blessing of who we are, as we bring this blessing to ourselves and to the world. And so it is.
And so it is.
Yay. Would you like a postcard?
Oh yeah, and stay for fellowship. And if you're online,